Huge thank you to those coaches who signed up. As parent coaches, we couldn't do this without you. You are a huge, massively important part of what makes this club what it is. You putting your time in allows us to keep the fees low and make the game accessible to all the kids in our community. Purpose of this slideshow, just to give you the information for the fall and hopefully guide and answer any questions you've got. This is our club staff. I oversee the 9s through 12s, see them once a week. Sophie Polishin will be dropping in on the girls' side, and I will be adding in some senior stuff for our older coaches. Paul, goalkeeper training. If you have any goalkeepers that want to sign up, the registration is online. It's free, but it just gives them access to the goalkeeper training calendar. Goalkeepers train Thursday and Saturday morning. Things to do. Make sure you've got your background check done in GOT Sports. These are the requirements that we need to have filled out before we're on the field with our kids. We work out of Playmetrics. Playmetrics is our thing. It's got in there attendance and session planning and your roster, your schedule, and we add absolutely everything in there. We're using it more and more. Please have your families log their attendance for team events. It does help in the end when it's coming to placement and things like that. So far for our 9s through 11s, they've had a tryout, and they'll have a tryout again to form the teams at the end of October. For our 12s through 15s, we'll be using the fall to decide if there's any movement needed for next summer. This came up the other week. What is coaching? What is coaching? What does it mean? I'd like to think that it involves more than just putting cones down and improving kids to play this game. Coaching is influencing behavior. And if you think about it as a coach, you get to influence so much. Your players see you when your team is winning, when your team is losing, how you interact with them in those key moments. How do you praise them? How do you recognize them? How do you show respect? How do you do sharing? All of these things influence the player's behavior. It's a massive job. Kids learn in different ways, but you are their role model. And whatever you do, however you handle things, they'll pick up on it too. So it is important that we have a broad picture of coaching and have it be to influence behavior. It is a really important part of who we are, and it gives us that connection to the kids. Key dates coming up. I'm sure you'll pause at this one so you can see. Reach out to your team, email your team, say hello, get your practice dates on the calendar. We have a sign up for that. The practice venues are there to sign up, your team training and tournament options. On the previous one, there was a time for the Final Four that the league offers for TCSL for 11 through 15s, 14s, 15s. The 9 and 10, there is an end of season kind of a jamboree at the end for the younger kids. That will be a good one to do, and then to get one more during mid-season. The fall season is a very short time, so there's not a lot of windows to get many things in. If your team is all together and organized, I'd advise them to do an earlier season tournament. See if you can get one in the last week in August. But if it's not possible, CC United will be doing their tournament. And obviously that's convenient for location and all kinds of things like that. But I would try to get in one at a push 2 tournaments in this short window. The season is 10 weeks. I'm asking you to do 3 soccer events a week. Practices will be an hour and 15. That may change when daylight savings hit in and doing our tournament. When you get with your team, if you haven't got an assistant coach, this is the time to ask. Referee connections person. If you can get one person to step up and do referee connections, it is the link that our referees have on the parent side of the field. It is someone that goes to meet the referee, talks to the referee, and is a point of contact. We have found that our referees the retention has been good since we've added this too. You are in charge of letting the parents know what success is. Big responsibility. I've attached here a U9 and 10 positional video. The U11 and 12 will be following. We also have our goals and objectives to share with you as well. It is important that our parents can see many ways to praise success. It can't be just, if you don't do that, then they'll only see winning and trophies as a means to success. You've got to tell them, can you communicate what you worked on in practice? Can you communicate what you're looking for each player? I would advise you to do a halftime team talk on the parents' side of the field. Some club rules. Our playing time is earned. It's not given. If a player does not turn up for practice, does not work hard in practice, you don't have to play them as much. And we want our captaincy, our captains earned by the team rules. So it's important that our captains have some structure. And positional placement at 9, 10, and 11, you should expect to play every player in every position and that they can get on. When they get to 12, 13, they start and specialize. I know it's a competitive sport and sometimes players playing in different positions affect the outcome of the game. But it is so important that the kids get exposure to as many positions as possible until they are 11, maybe 12 on up. The captains, you'll get a captain's armband. Ask the team what it wants for a captain. What skills does it want? Leadership qualities. And it is really important. I would highly recommend you to pick your captains at the end of every practice, and that person takes the captain's armband home with them. So it is absolutely huge that the kids define, what do you want from a captain? Do you want someone that helps the coach more, is vocal, is committed? All these skills that we recognize and we want for our kids to do. This is the link to the 11 Plus. The 11 Plus is a dynamic warm-up which focuses on balance, coordinating, and agility. The boys should do 3 of these exercises. The girls should do a few more. It will increase flexibility, coordination. It will also reduce the potential of knee injuries for the girls. So please get these into your warm-ups. So at the start of every practice and game, this is the first thing you do. Our goals and objectives are right there. This is what we'd like you to try and achieve. Good luck with that. If you need any help, our sessions will be geared towards that. And here's some ideas of things to work on that will help you as you go. Game day management. What I'd like you to do when you turn up is to communicate the position that the players will be playing in prior to them getting there. So they know walking in where they're going to play. When you get there with the kids, they already know where they're playing. You discuss anything that you've done in training, and then you start the 11 plus warm-up. You start your build-up with pressure, anything else you're going to do in your warm-up. Check in with the officials and then play. And that way the kids are not stopping and starting in their build-up to the game. Their build-up should flow. On the sideline, our parents must provide the framework. The coach provides the framework to the sidelines. We have a 0 tolerance of referee abuse in the club. We want it that our players provide the communication. Here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to write some cue cards of what you want from each position and put them on the bench. When the players sit in those seats on the bench, they pick up the cue cards and they are responsible to communicate to that position. If your centre midfielder is playing wide, you say to one of the kids on the bench, where should our centre midfielder be? That player then stands up and corrects where the player should be, making that player accountable when they play centre midfield, but more importantly, getting the kids used to their own voices. So think about that. If you have one that's for the wide players, and the wide players are not wide, and you say to the bench, where should our wide players be? And the wide players fix it, and the players on the bench fix it, and then once again, it makes the kids more accountable when they go onto the field, but more importantly, the kids get used to correcting their own problems. Goalkeeping. If you know nothing about goalkeeping, it's Thursdays, it's Saturdays. You are welcome to attend and pick up some things from Paul. These are what is covered. We have a foundation level and level 1, 2, 3, and 4. Most of our kids will get to level 3 and be very comfortable there for our older kids. For our 9s and 10s, it's all about foundation and level 1. To help you along, there are the videos that go with those skill sets so you can see them in the goal. Referees, like I said, 0 tolerance for referee abuse from the side. We're very strongly on that. If you can get a referee connections person, that would help a lot. If you have a referee that is struggling, please go talk to them as if they were on, but talk to them to educate, not to influence. That's the important part. Education over influence them. We don't want them to make decisions because they're scared of us. We want them to be in a position to make decisions. And that's a completely different thing. So you telling the referee at halftime, hey, can you keep up with play a little bit more? And that way you'll be able to see things that happen around the ball more often. When the ball's played across, can you make sure you're looking for your assistant referee just to make sure that that offside decision comes quick if it's going to happen? So you are educating the referees, you're not influencing. VEOs. The club has 4 VEOs at its disposal. We have 4 now, so there. The link to check them out is below. I'd like every team to at least get 2 VEO games this fall. If you do VEO, it is recording the game. So you are going to actually have the game recorded. It is really easy to set up. The instructions are all on there too. And the kids can come into the office and you can reserve the office and have a little get together where the kids watch the game. It is a really easy thing to do, but it is great for your kids to see themselves play. And more importantly, you can say to the kids, right, what's our shape like? And pause it, and pause the VEO so they see it. It will help also if you've got players that are struggling on your team. I can actually be a voice in your corner if I can see it also. So we want to be noticeable as a club. We do have our own brand. How we watch games is just like that. We want our sitting down. We want to support, not guide. We want to praise, not instruct. We want the players to be responsible for their own decisions. If you've got a sideline that's loud and they are constantly directing the kids of where to go, please let me know and I'll come out and I'll have a word with your sideline. We want to provide the kids a place where they can be successful. And if parents are screaming at them, shoot, shoot, pass, pass, then their kids are doing as them told. They aren't making any decisions. So it is important that we do this so that the kids get what we call a successful attachment phase, which means they are placed in an environment where their very actions are their own. And that's where we want to be so that we know where they're at. We want to develop that love for the game. How we win. If we are winning, we want to define that we are the best team. No CC United team should be winning by more than 5 or 6 goals. If the score goes into 7s, 8s, 9s, 10s, we're not interested in that. There's something more we can do. We want to outplay over outscore. Yeah, do we want to win? Absolutely. But if the game starts to get high in scores, I expect our coaches to put conditions onto the team. If the ball goes out, we go back to the goalkeeper. When we get the ball, we're going to switch it twice before we attack. When we attack, we're going to put together 10 passes before we go forwards. We're going to, in the opposing half, we're going to start with an overlap. So something that improves our team rather than just have our players go out and win games because they're better. Take every opportunity to win games by being the better team, not by having better players. This is what we want from the sport. Yep, I've read the papers, I've seen the online advertisements, and there are elite level programs out there. There are select and all these fancy names that distract us from the importance of the sport in itself. We want the kids to play for a long time. You know what? We develop college players and we develop top level teams, but our goal is the development of the game for everybody. It is important that these kids leave their youth soccer career and have something that they feel comfortable playing forever. So we want that. We want you to connect with your kids. We want it to be about that. And you can do that by recognizing more places to be successful. If you as a parent are curious into what we're training on, into what our goals and objectives are, you get to recognize more. And it becomes more important, the process, than the actual result. And that's huge. So I want to thank you very much for your time stepping forward in this club. And I know that with your help, we will make a huge difference. Thank you.